Now then, let's rewind time and go back to when this car had badges 6 years ago.
What?
The badge came off, Pete. I was doing.
What?
I was trying to record a video, and I literally just was doing this stance on the car, and it literally just slid off. So there you go. But yeah, it's a Reliant Scimitar. It's an SE6a. It was made in 1978. It's plastic, and it's mine. I've had it for 6 years now. I bought it for 450 quid, Pete.
What the hell?
Bloody quid.
For a motor?
For a motor. Yeah, right. Like, it's a classic British sports car. For
That's
450
mental.
quid. Unfortunately, well, much to everyone else's dismay, they've gone up since then. I had it, and it had 6 months MOT on it, and it was in Plymouth. The only downside was that it was an automatic, which has been changed now. It's got a manual gearbox. Let's talk more about the modifications that we've done, shall we? We'll start with the engine bay. So, going through the engine bay, Peter.
Michael.
Yes, you can follow my finger. And then as I point to things,
I'll track it.
You can track my finger, and I'll bring it back up when I'm talking. Okay, so we have the new aluminium radiator with the new silicone joiners and stainless steel piping. More silicone there. We've got a delete here for they're supposed to be temperature pipes that go up to here to take hot coolant, which then it opens the chokes to, you know, let the car know when it's warmed up as an automatic choke. However, it's crap, annoying, and broken, so I got rid. And instead, we'll have an actual pull choke inside the car, which is going to be on the new carburetor that I bought for it that is not on it yet. I've got these are quite expensive leads. I can't remember who they are made by. Magnacore. Yes, I was just having ignition issues, and the cheap ones kept breaking, like to the point where you would just want to literally just pull a lead off like that, and the copper bit inside would stay on there, and you would just pull the thing off. So I was like, fuck this, I am just going to get a decent pair of leads. So I did. New alternator, that's a 75 amp unit, as opposed to the 35 amp that the car came standard with. There's the master cylinder for the clutch pedal, which we now have, Pete, because as aforementioned, there is no automatic gearbox. Battery. You'll find that everyone that has a Scimitar, especially like a GTE, the batteries, you can see that that's quite a narrow space, and the original size batteries they do no longer make. So people just end up with loads of variants, loads of different sort of sizes, and some people just go really small in there. Some people literally cut the battery box out to fit a bigger one in. I've just got one that fitted. It's not the right size, it's supposed to be bigger really, but it's narrow enough to use the original brackets. That's all I care about. It's got twin air horns, Pete.
Twin air horns, you
Twin
say?
air horns. We could hear them. Do you want to hear them, Pete?
Please. I'd love to.
This is going to be more effort than I originally thought when I...
You can't tease us like that.
I know. Oh, it's like spider as well, Pete.
Oh no.
Don't worry, I axed it a question. Hey! Oh, get my keys out. My other car is a Scimitar. There you go.
Very Dukes of Hazzard.
It is. It's quite good though. And I tell you what, when you're really pissed off at someone in traffic, and you know, like, fucking get the fuck out of the way, what the fuck are you doing? It's great. Do it. Do it. I want to see everyone's air horns. Comment below. Put links to videos of air horns. Right. We also, Peter, going into more technical stuff now that we've changed, we are having problems with the actual ignition. And it used to have something called a ballast resistor, which was kind of mounted here. And basically what all that would mean is that as you're actually turning the starter motor, you would get more current sent to the engine through the coil to help start it. And then once you stopped cranking the engine, it was just running, you would have a reduced voltage going through the coil, thus meaning you used less electricity, meaning it could charge the rest of the car, and when you got your headlights on and stuff, it wouldn't drain the battery as much. That was being a dickhead, so I just got rid of it. And I just got a coil that's just a normal coil and delivers the same amount of current whether you're cranking or not. It's bulletproof, it's a train. Yes, it's bulletproof and it's just simple and it just works. Some of you may have noticed this. This is the bypass for the inhibitor switch for the automatic gearbox. So if you had it in gear or drive, then is that actually in focus?
That is actually really well.
When you're in drive or a gear, you wouldn't be able to start the car because unlike, you know, a manual where you start the car and it just goes, if you're in gear, it would actually fuck it up. So they have an inhibitor switch and this is to bypass that. Good stuff. What else is in here that's different from the factory? Oh, the exhausts. You can just about see them either side, Peter. I'll point to them so you know what you're looking at. Here we go. Those three there, and then there's three matching on the other side as well. They are stainless steel gas-flowed manifolds with matching length tubes. And basically, that means that it's awesome. They're all the way through with twin silencers. We will be getting rid of the rear silencer at some point because I want the car louder. It's now not the car that I need to start at 6 AM anymore. It's the car that I can just use on the weekends and piss neighbours off irregularly. Now then, Pete, I think that's it for the engine bay. It hasn't got a fan yet. I haven't bought one. It does come with one and should have one. That's it. That's really disappointing. Oh, it's got electronic ignition as well, but you can't see that because it's in the distributor cap. That's really annoying, isn't it? I've had this car for 6 years, spent so much money on it, and that's it for the engine. I've replaced the water pump once. Is that it? Really? Oh, it's got like some nice spark plugs in it too. Fuck it. Right, let's talk bodywork. Okay, you can see this lovely paint job here was done by the previous owner. The original colour, Peter, if you look around here, is red.
Oh, no way.
Yes, and I actually have a picture of it in a field, red. Some good things to note as well, Pete, are that the side repeating indicators are odd. That one is that shape, all right? Remember that. Now go to the other side.
Oh, wow. When you believe it.
Yeah, there's loads of, you know what?
An oblong.
Some of them are here, the repeaters on the inside. And so I don't even know if the Scimitar came with them from the factory. I think people just fitted them retrospectively.
There's a little gadget.
Another thing, Pete, whilst we're spotting the odds, it's got odd wing mirrors. Go on.
There's that one there. The passenger side. And now we come to the driver's side. And look, the shape is slightly different.
Slightly different. Moving on with more bodywork, you can see there's vents in here. You saw from the video of the kind of tour, if you like, that it's got vents. They're not standard. People like, you know, it's really weird. There's like a big separation with regards to these vents. Oh, they're not functional. They're actually going to make your engine hotter because the air is actually going to cause a vacuum and not let any air out of the bonnet at all. And then some people are just like, oh yeah, but they look cool though, don't they? I'm in the latter. I didn't do it. Everyone, like, it starts conversation, right? If your car doesn't start a conversation, what are you doing? Anyway, you can see here, there's actually spray paint. I don't know, is it coming up on the camera?
It is.
Yeah? You want to know why that is, Pete?
Why is that, Mike?
Because I took it to a car show and I didn't want to clean it. I just got some spray paint.
Oh, no. Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, there's mud on the back that's just this colour. Man, I love cars like this though, right? You can just piss about with them. You can see that the front bumper's all cracked, especially on that side actually. That corner there is a better option.
Yeah, got all sorts in that crevice.
Yeah, oh look, it's got a bit of life in there. But, oh my God. So yeah, somebody's obviously had a few bumps there and repaired it badly with hard. That's like a hard plastic resin filler on top of a spongy bumper. So that was never going to happen. Pete, it says General Adams down the side. You should get pictures of that. This side is no longer sunny like it was at the beginning when we started recording. Union jack. This here is a metal plate. It's the only rusty part of the car because it's the only metal part really. And that was the aforementioned previous owner. And I did ask him. I said, "So why the fuck is the metal plates riveted in the roof?" And he said, "Oh yeah, shit, sorry about that." Him and his mate went on a track day. And they were talking on the track via CB radio.
Oh, right.
Last minute fix to get the magnetic aerial on top of the roof, just rivet a panel in. Talk everyone through this, shall we? And when I say we, you.
Well, first of all,
Not we, you.
let's look at this.
This isn't a gaming channel.
See this jackass sticker right here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now, so we were, I was going to say hot wiring then. We were, what is the term for it?
Jump starting?
We were jump starting.
Using some leads.
Some leads. We were jump starting Mike's Mini.
No, it wasn't. It was a Rover Metro.
A Rover Metro, they just rebadged it, you fool.
They renamed it, you fool. Send me the Metro again, see what happens.
So, yeah, so I hadn't started driving yet. Mike said hop in the car and then put it into reverse. Can't remember what for.
So basically, the story goes that the Rover was in a garage. Oh, there's my recycling bin lid. I was looking for that. Oh, it's got some sort of scum in it though. Oh, lick it. Right, so the Rover Metro was in a garage. They badged it, you fool. With the bonnet up, and I was trying to jump start it using the Scimitar. I had nosed the Scimitar in. I asked Pete to get in the Scimitar, keep the revs up a bit whilst I cranked the Rover Metro to get it started. I did get it started. I then said to Pete, just put it in reverse, just take it back so I can get the Metro out. And I think you would take it by surprise, right? Because it was still an automatic at that point. You put it in R for reverse, and it goes.
Yeah, I had never been in a driver's seat before. I didn't know that automatic cars do that.
Yeah. Well, that's not completely true, is it? Because you were on like your 25th lesson, so you had been in a driver's seat.
Oh, I was actually learning to drive then. Yes.
Well, I think you'd attempted your test a couple of times, maybe. But...
So yeah, automatics were new to me completely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I must admit, when I first got in the car and did it and put it into gear and it went off on its own, I was a bit taken back. Did I reverse it into a wall? No, I pressed the brake. Pete still to this day says he couldn't reach the brake. We're not that much different in height, Pete.
My legs are fucking tiny.
Apparently, anyway.
But my torso's long.
So, instead of changing gear, putting it in park, putting the handbrake on, pressing the brake, turning the ignition off, he just let it roll into a wall. And because it's fiberglass, which is a blessing because it's relatively light, still quite strong and doesn't rust, but if you hit it here, then it compresses here, cracks all the way up there, and under here as well, Pete. You can see there that it's also cracked. Little interesting note for some of you. I've actually got a silicone pipe in there and replaced all that. It has a stainless fuel tank as well, which I replaced because the original one had a hole in the filler neck. Sometimes when you're at the back filling up, and then it would be pouring out the bottom. I think at least twice, but once definitely memorably, someone running over to me. There's a lot of fuel coming out of your car, literally running across the fucking train. Let's go on the inside. Right, what do we have here?
A steering wheel.
Steering wheel. It's actually like a rare optional extra, that wheel, I've been told, by the Scimitar Club. And I've never seen another one. So there you go. Still want to get rid of it though. It's ugly and cracked. I'll put it on the wall of the shed when the fucking shed gets here. You can see the gear lever, Peter. Look at that.
That is big.
Yeah, got a big old wanger on it, hasn't it? What else is different in here? The dashboard is obviously kind of vaguely put together because we are hopefully going to be doing a test run in a bit. When I say in a bit, we make it sound like later today. Not today.
What else you got in here, Michael?
A pile of oil, because I started the car and the oil pressure gauge, which is in the centre console, actually has a little oil feed going to it, which is how it gets its pressure. And I forgot to put the gauge on the end of that, so it just pissed oil everywhere. It was funny. Hey! I wasn't angry. Have I cleaned it now? Will I? Probably not. I'll just let it evaporate until it turns to a crust and then peel it off with a paper scraper or something. Yeah, inside, really nothing to mention, but there it is. The back seat's out. I do have one. It's in the garage, keeping dry. Same with the centre console. The actual original centre console around the gear lever and stuff is in the boot. But I've got a replacement one which is in far better condition back at the garage, Pete. How cool is that, eh?
How many miles has he done?
75 or something, is it?
67.
67! It's got an electric aerial as well. When I first got it, it did work. Stop now though. Fuck it, doesn't have radio in it anyway. Right, that's my crib. Catch you later. So, a lot of problems have been had with this car. Lots of ignition and running issues and things like that. mainly fueling, probably vacuum related in the fueling system. But the reason why I took it off the road 2 years ago is because the brakes kept failing. Not good. And I bought a shit Polo to replace it, which was probably the worst car, definitely the worst car I've ever owned. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next time we will actually get dirty and start turning spanners on it. This has been an introduction to the introduction. Bye.